Guys, please check out my Patreon channel. It's the same link as here, The Last American Outlaw. I have a feeling that the powers that be, the social media that be, is going to allow some of this to be talked about right now. But as things start to get worse, kind of like they did with the 2020 problem we had, they let you talk about it and then they shut us off. So if you want my opinions, other tips, things that's going on, things that we believe could happen, updates on just what we're doing as a group, check out Patreon. Go to Patreon, hit the deal. It's $5 a month. It's a Starbucks coffee. It helps us and it allows us to say what we want to say, because I'm telling you, they're going to start shutting this part of this down. I think we may have maybe 1 or 2 months to talk about it. So check us out on Patreon. What's up, Outlaw Nation? Today, I'd like to joke around and tell you some kind of a funny joke, but I'm not going to. Today, I'm 100% certain that you guys are up to date on the Russia-Ukraine situation. If you look at Drudge Report has countdown to World War III. You have all over the news people really going crazy about this. And, what's going to happen in the world, Russia, China, what is going on? I don't know. So here's what I'm going to do. I had several hundred of you email me asking me about kits. So one, I appreciate that. Guys, if you have questions, I try to answer emails. So go ahead and email me. If I don't answer them, I still read them. Go ahead and send me an email and I will do the best I can to help get you the information you want. And those of you that have my personal cell phone number, you called me, you asked me all these questions. And so I thought that I would show you my kit. One of the things that's important, understand my kit is not a cheap kit. It's not a cheap kit based off of, I have spent a very long time using a lot of this professionally, and so have a lot of my friends. And one of the things that I've learned is when you're out in the woods and you're out in the elements a lot, the cheaper stuff you buy usually breaks and the better stuff you buy usually doesn't. Or if it does, you can at least kind of repair it. So here's what I kind of want to go over, okay? I woke up this morning and it was 17 degrees and the wind was blowing 35 miles an hour. The wind chill made it feel like 3 degrees. It was so cold. Started trickling snow, ice all over the road. It was really, really cold. Now, in the afternoon, it got to like 35 or 38 degrees. So I was able to shed some clothes. But where I live in kind of, the desert, temperature swings happen a lot. So understand what I'm showing you here is for my climate, the desert in the West, kind of the Rocky Mountains, kind of the high plains, okay? But this is what I've chose because it works for me. All right, starting off, let's talk about the 3 things you need to have a base for. Something to sleep on, something to sleep in, and something to sleep under. So you remember that, something to sleep on, in, and under, all right? So the first thing, something to sleep on. I have to get myself up off of the ground so that I don't freeze to death, because if you're on the ground and you don't have any insulation in between you, your body will be like, the cold air will suck all the heat out of your body and you will be miserable. So what did I choose? I choose this Exped Down Mat Ultralight Winter Lightweight, okay? It actually comes with a blow-up tool. And so you fill this up with air and then you can blow it up into the pad and it's down lightweight. I've used it quite a bit. It stays in my kit. It's actually, it hasn't popped, and you don't want to have a mat that you're going to blow up with your breath, because if you do, your breath takes a chance on freezing that and causing you issues on the inside of maybe some kind of popping or leaking or molding as you go. So try to get one that has a pump or at least a primitive pump like this Exped. I've used one for a while, and several of my friends have used them for years in overseas and here, and they're just tough, rugged equipment. So something to sleep on. All right, guys, the next thing is something to sleep in. And for me, I chose the UGQ Outdoor LLC. It is their hybrid Outlaw quilt. I've had this for a few months. I've used it on 3 trips. I bought, I can't remember what the other one is, Enlightened equipment, and it was great. But I really like this one. And what I did was I ordered this one to be as big as it could possibly be. And the reason I did that was because I figure that in a situation like what you're foreseeing in your head, whatever it is, I may need to actually sleep in my gear. I may need to sleep in my boots. I may need to sleep in my clothes. Because there's not gonna be a timeout for you to get dressed. But this opens up into a big blanket. And so you can also just kind of wrap up in this, you know, if you were cold. And so I got a neutral color for where I would be. And then I also got an inside bright color in case I needed to signal somebody. You never know if you might need to signal somebody. But this UGQ quilt is a pretty awesome piece of kit. If you're in a hurry right now, you just need a sleeping bag, a wool blanket. It doesn't matter. I just chose this one because it worked well with what my goal and my plans were. Also with that UGQ, I have the hoodie, and this one is from Enlightened Equipment. And the hoodie allows me to put this on and basically turn that into a mummy bag at night to keep me that extra warm. So I can zip myself all in it with all of my gear, put this on so I can stay warm. All right, so I also have the Xped Mega Pillow and the Thermarest pillow. Once again, I told you guys, I'm not trying to go ultra light on this, and we'll explain the philosophy of use on that in a minute. This gives me one. I usually hold on to one and I sleep with one. And so that's why I have 2. Because once again, when I'm out there, if I have to be out 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, however long you think, after about 3 days, if you're not sleeping and sleeping well and your back hurts and your neck hurts, you just turn miserable and you stop focusing on the task that you need to focus on. So it could be as simple as you need a pillow and a sleeping mat. All right, then I chose the Light Fighter. I would set this up for you, but I can't. This is the Light Fighter one-man combat tent. Along with the Light Fighter one-man combat tent, I bought the cold weather kit for, what is this, the Light Fighter 1. I bought the cold weather kit. The reason that I got the cold weather kit was it makes it a 4-season tent, and it also makes it to where if the wind's blowing 30 or 35 miles an hour like it does here a lot, I can get out of the wind. And if you guys haven't been in the wind a lot, just massive amounts of wind beating down on you, it sucks so bad. But this is a 4-season tent. It has the ground pad or the ground stakes that come with it so that it doesn't get wet. And then it has the multicam over the top, and it's NIR compliant, which means if somebody has on night vision and they illuminate you, you're harder to see than if you were just wearing regular clothes. So Light Fighter 1, it's the one-man combat tent that our military special forces still uses today as their tent when they have to have one. All right, another thing I carry with me is the Big Agnes chair. It's a one-man backpacking chair. It's the lightest, strongest chair that I could find. Once again, if we're out here for multiple days, it's not like you're gonna be some rock star gunfighter, right? There may just be times when you need to get up off the wet ground or get out of the snow, or you just need a break and you need to sit down with your kit on, or you're just camping. And so this Big Agnes chair I have. Once again, we're gonna talk some philosophies at the end of this, but Big Agnes is a great choice. All right, I said before, I didn't care about weight. I am a little bit weight conscious because I'm trying to make sure that I have enough weight that I can still move. So I chose the lightest, strongest backpack that I could come up with, and it's the Exo Mountain Gear in multicam. It too, I believe, is NIR compliant, and it's a 4,800 liter and loaded. It's the lightest pack on the market. There are a lot of great packs, Mystery Ranch, Eberly Stock. I'll show you a couple of those as we go. This is a great option to put a lot of weight in. It was made for hunters, and I'm working with the owner of the company for some military projects, and this is becoming a very popular backpack, and you can fit all of this stuff in there well. I like backpacks that are like a bucket that I could dump it in instead of having a bunch of different pockets where I never know where anything is. I set myself up as like little pods of stuff so I know what I'm looking for is in that pod. We may do another video at the end of this one to show you how I pack this pack. But this is the one that I chose because it's the lightest, it offers the most support, it's made for hauling big weight, and it hauls all this gear perfect. Also, I didn't just go buy the biggest one. I got all of the gear that I needed, and I found out that I needed, and I went camping with it several times, and I put it together and said, this is what I need. Not what I want, not luxury, but like what I have to have. And then I added, this is my luxury, and then I found the pack that fits that, which is this one. All right, guys, something else I add to my packs, and I have one individual for each pack, is a jet boil. I choose the jet boil because I got burned by a couple of other ones, and the jet boil still kind of gets hot, but if you level it out really well, when it gets hot, you can still grab it, especially if you have gloves on, but you can grab it without gloves on. And I always take with me the largest jet boil container of gas, and then one extra one that's a smaller one. Now, I know you guys are gonna look at me and you're gonna say, well, why would you take that? We need to build a bushcraft fire. Look, man, there's a chance that out here, when you're in the elements, that you can get very cold very fast and you can get hypothermia. If you get hypothermia, the chances of you building a bushcraft fire are like almost none. But the chances of you getting inside your tent or underneath your sleeping bag and turning this on and warming that up so that you don't get hypothermia are gigantic. So don't look at this as my water purification, and don't look at this as the way that I'm gonna cook my food. Look at this as this is my emergency lifeline to, it could be emergency in a couple of ways. One, I need immediate heat, or somebody with me needs immediate heat. And I throw them inside my tent and put this on. Or maybe I have a poncho. I get underneath that poncho and pull it down and I put this on. It's not causing a fire. You don't want to have a bunch of light. So if you're using it at night, you just cover it up and you get really warm with it. And so I have two containers because I want to make sure that they both work. And the colder it is outside, the more one will only work for a minute and you'll have to switch to the other one and warm this up. It's just how it works. And then also where, yeah, if I was moving fast enough and I had to have water and I couldn't do anything else, well, I could use this for 90 seconds and boil water. But this is my lifeline last resort. I keep it in every pack. All right, guys. Also, I have this Grail water. I have multiple things for water, but this Grail water is, it's pretty awesome. A lot of backpackers use it. You can just fill up the water and just push it down inside there. I've used it a bunch of times in the river. I used it on purpose just to see if I would get sick a bunch. And I haven't. And I've used it in I used it in the lake. I used it in rainwater. I used it in the streams. I highly recommend these, especially for your bug out recce bag, because they just work so good and they're not that expensive. All right, my food. So it doesn't matter to me how you guys want to look at food. What I would try to recommend is that you figure 2-ish thousand calories a day while you're out there at a bare minimum. And so I double my food up for this pack. Any Mountain House food or, this is Backpacker's Pantry, any of these that you want that will cover however long you think. I would start with making sure that you had 3 days of food in your pack. And why 3 days? 3 days is actually probably like 7 days. Like what I would do is I would eat a day and I wouldn't eat a day. And then I would eat a day and I wouldn't eat a day. Oh my gosh, you're not getting all your calories. Who cares? What we're trying to do is extend ourselves out the best we can to survive with what we had. And I would eat this food last. If I could eat anything else out there off the land, I would. If it was a deer, an elk, whatever, and I could responsibly process all of that, that's what I would do. If I can't, this is what I'm gonna do. The cool thing about this is you just put a little warm water in here and you're able to eat this. I personally choose, like this one is chocolate s'mores. I mean, I like chocolate, you can tell, but I choose desserts along with my food for morale, right? Or if I'm with my kids and they're having a hard time, I got the morale. Along with that, I carry multiple MREs with me. And I know you're gonna tell me right now, dang, why are you carrying all those MREs? They're heavy, they're big, they're bulky, they go out of date. I get it. This is a faster meal to eat. It tastes better to eat, and you can hand them out to more people and there's more options with them. So I always have 4 MREs with me, and this is 1 day's worth of food. So I have a combination of both of these based off the event. I may have to eat right now and I don't have time for this, so I'll eat the MRE. I may have time to sit down and mess around, so I'll eat one of the Mountain House meals. So I have a combination of both. I personally have 5 total days with me, which I know I could last 10 days out there with this. This is a kit inspired by the man, Dave Canterbury. I built this kit a while ago, and this for me is kind of my wilderness kit. And I would not recce out with this. This would be what I have in my pack that I'm taking with me, that if I was actually having to hump it, I might get rid of some of this. So you can have a lot of stuff here and you can take it out as you go. But inside of this, what I do is I have things like sage, which it makes a mouthwash. It helps you with a sore throat. It helps you with mouth sores. It helps you with cold. I have salt, because if you shoot an elk out there or a deer out there or whatever it is you shoot out there, rabbit, raccoon, I don't care what you eat, you might need it. But I write on here, if you can see that, I write on there what they do, like salt, bee sting, sore mouth, hot compress, help swelling, nasal spray. And so I've got several different options in here that help with toothaches and, like cayenne pepper, and it stops bleeding, and it make it with tea helps you with congestion. You inhale it for a headache. I put a lot of thought into this kit, and I think if you go to Dave Canterbury's deal, you can find the same kit. Inside this kit, I also have dryer lint to help me start an emergency fire if I have to. I have this pan so I can boil water. I have water purifying tablets. I have a fire starting rod inside here. I have a small Leatherman that I've never used, so it's still very sharp, and it's pliers, and I might need to get a splinter. It has the little splinter getter thing. And then I've got another deal of salt and pepper, because once again, I don't know how much wild game you've ate, but I know you're probably preparing your mind to say, I'm gonna eat wild game out there. You need to spice it up. That's what I have this for. And again, it is heavy, I get it. I'm not gonna just keep this out there and carry it if I don't have to. I may get somewhere, unload some of this, take what I actually need, and come back, but I don't know the situation. If I'm in my truck the whole time, I can have this the whole time. So I keep it with me because it's better to have it than not, right? All right, the not so sexy part of this, I told you needed to be able to eat, sleep, and poop. I carry baby wipes. Just carry a brand new package of baby wipes with you. Maybe you need 2 baby wipes. They help you with your dose problem, but they also help you wipe your underarms or, your personal areas. They help you if you're bleeding. They help you with a lot of things that you might need moist towelettes for. So I highly recommend them. I try to get the unscented ones, but baby wipes. All right, guys, now here's the next part. Once again, I told you how cold it is here, okay? So let's talk about our cold weather gear and layering it. Again, I'm showing you a lot of Gucci gear. You don't have to have this, but you need to have a system like this. That's why I'm trying to give you this idea. All right, the first one is a Crye Precision top, all right? Inside my Crye Precision tops, on both of them, I carry a tourniquet. So carry one tourniquet in each arm so that I could reach over and grab them, one tourniquet on my chest, okay? So I carry Crye Precision top. The reason I do this is because I still layer with this stuff, but as you go, you're gonna wanna unlayer as it gets, warmer or whatever throughout the day, or you may just have to shed a bunch of gear to actually fight or move fast. And so I wanna be in this. So Crye Precision top, Crye Precision Gen 4 pants. I have several colors of these inside my bag right here. Now, I don't pack any of this clothing inside this pack. Okay, I pack this in a totally separate pack. The reason why I do, well, except for the rain suit, but we'll get to that. The reason why is because I need a pack that I can grab and start throwing clothes on, and then still have my pack that I didn't fill up with a bunch of clothes. So that's 2 different packs, okay? All right, so Crye Precision pants. The reason I like Crye Precision pants is, one, they're tough. They last a long time. They have knee pads. They will strap to you and keep tight, and they don't stink. You can wear them for like 2 weeks and they don't stink. That's one of the things I like about them the most. They may stink on you, but not me. All right, next thing inside my kit. Again, if you go to Light Fighter, you will see that for not very much money, you can buy the Gore-Tex kit that is NIR compliant, which means if somebody has on night vision and you have this on, you're very hard to see. Okay, this keeps you, it's Gore-Tex 100% military contract, keeps you out of the wind, keeps you out of the weather, and if it gets really, really cold, you can put this on and still cover yourself up and do that wind blocking layer, which is really important. Now, If you buy this, notice I bought this way too big for me. I bought this to wear on top of all of my gear because I want to keep all of my gear dry and out of the elements when I have this on. This actually stays in my pack. So again, it is the Light Fighter Gore-Tex. I bought it 2 sizes too big to wrap over all of my stuff. In IR compliance, a big deal, guys. Whoever you face, they're gonna have night vision and you need to be able to stay out of that night vision. Okay, base layers. I got a top and bottom thermal base layer, so I can wear these under the cry and I can just slowly layer up. Take them off, take them on, but it is a merino wool base layer, tops and bottoms. They don't have to be fancy. They don't have to be camouflage. I've got some that are black. I've got some that are Sitka, some that are Cryptek, and I've got some, these are frog flame resistant ones. I don't know. Just an underlayer of long johns. Socks. I've got on these, I think they're darn tough. Darn tough, really thick wool socks or Thinsulate socks. And then I've also got 2 pair of regular socks and 1 pair of regular underwear that I carry inside of here to keep with me at all times because your feet and your hands really need to stay warm in order for you to stay warm. I've got a balaclava. It's nothing special. It's just a cheap balaclava to cover my face up for the times that it starts really getting cold out there. Or I may need it for some kind of a, masking so that I have some camouflage. All right, guys. So I have a schmog. I always keep a schmog. The reason I keep a schmog is because, the main reason I keep a schmog is because I roll it up like this and I use it as a scarf, right? Cowboy days in me. So it can be used for a lot of things. It can be used to wrap up like a schmog. It could be used as a sling. You can use a schmog as a lot of things. For me, it's primarily a scarf when I need to stay warmer. Get a schmog, they're cheap. Of course, I got my beanie hat too. I'm just wearing it now because it's cold. All right, Beyond Clothing thermal pants. These pants are designed to wear over the top of your pants. So I would wear these pants and this Beyond Clothing jacket, both of these together, to go over my cries and over my long johns to just help warm up. Again, they're expensive, so it doesn't have to be Beyond, but I just have a camouflage NIR compliant where you can't see me layer of clothing over the top. So this allows me to be more, more warm. The longer you stay out in the elements, the more gear you actually need. So I know some of you guys, you never had to work outside or you never had to be outside or do any real camping outside. And so you think about, well, it's 17 degrees and it feels like 4 degrees, but I'm just walking to my car, I'm walking to Walmart. I really didn't need that much stuff. When you don't get to get out of that for 24 hours and maybe 72 or, you know what I mean? If you don't get to get out of that 40 hours, 80 hours, that cold starts to really penetrate into your body and you have to do a lot of extra effort to stay warm. So that's really, really important that you make sure that you stay warm. All right, this is a Wild Things parka. It is a big, heavy parka that's made to wear on top of all of the other gear. I would still be able to wear my chest rig underneath it. Big, heavy piece of kit that goes with me. I may not necessarily carry it out, but I'm carrying it with me in a separate bag as long as I possibly can, because once again, staying out of the weather is crucial, and this helps you do it. And it is just a really big, oversized, puffy jacket that will really keep me out of the weather. Even when I'm wearing a helmet, I can wear this. It was designed to be tactical. All right, gloves. I have several pair of gloves. I keep one that I consider tactical gloves. Like, I had to be slick. I just needed to keep the chill off of my hands. I still needed to be able to fight. I still need to be able to do a task. So keep one set of gloves. I don't care what they are. Mechanics work great. I keep a set of leather gloves. These are Crud, C-R-U-D gloves. They're the best gloves I've ever owned. They're expensive, but I keep a set of leather gloves because you never know when you might need to shovel, chop trees, move wood. I mean, we always think of it like Call of Duty, like it's just going to be this cool headshots and everything's going to be really fun. But the truth is there's going to be a lot more boredom, a lot more work, a lot more just trying to survive from the elements. And leather gloves are something that is a must inside your kit. broke-in boots. Notice I said broke-in boots. Don't go buy a brand new pair of boots. So I take my Solomon Quest 4Ds. I take these boots and I wore them for 2 hunting seasons. And so they're very broke into my feet. And these are the boots that go with me for everything that I do. They're Gore-Tex. They keep my feet dry and they're tough as nails. They work really well for me. They work really well for a lot of guys. A lot of high-speed guys wear them. I have this in my kit all of the time. All right, guys, now the sexy part. I know you wanted to hear about this tactical part, so let me give it to you. Remember, eat, sleep, poop. We've got that covered, right? That actually makes up the bulk of your kit, which is kind of shocking, huh? But it really does make up the bulk of your kit. All right, this is my combat belt, my war belt. I know I'm not gonna give you a lot of B-roll on this because I wanted to get it out to you, but so here's what I've added. I added an extra pistol magazine to this one. I like to run one, but I like to have the option. I purposely have made sure that I can cover mine up and they stay bungeed because it's a fantasy that you think that you're gonna do all these real speed reloads. That's a fantasy. It's not real, okay? What's real is you need to make sure that you keep this secured to your body, all right? And that's the most important thing, okay? So I keep 2 pistol magazines. Right now I'm shooting the Glock 45 in this one AR-15 magazine. I keep a Leatherman, I think this is the Leatherman Wave. On the back, I keep my Winkler knife, which would be basically my survival knife, all right? So I keep it where it's tight, so where it's hard to come out, but I can baton wood with this. I can do the work that I need to do with this and still use it as a self-defense device. My holster the belt is an Aeolus defense belt. It's my personal belt. If you guys are looking for a belt, you can go to the website. The problem with the website right now, or the problem with the belts right now, is getting the actual dang buckles here. It's just been miserable to get the buckles with all the dang shipping issues. So the pistol is a Glock 45 9mm. I've got Trijicon suppressor height sights on it, a Trijicon RMR, and an X300 light, and this is a pretty good little pistol for life saving. I've got the USASOC Model T Blackhawk holster, so you can grab the Blackhawk. I've got my personal drop that we make, the Aeolus drop. They're not available on the website yet, but if you need one, send me an email. And so I've got my personal drop in there. I've Loctited all of this down. So pay attention, this is really important. Every single screw, I've red Loctited down. I got it to my body, I've red Loctited it down. I've Loctited my sights, I Loctited the Trijicon RMR, I replaced the battery recently, and I keep an extra battery with me all of the time. So this kit I've used a lot. I've Loctited it down on purpose to make sure that it is a solid kit. Notice I don't have a bunch of stuff on my belt like you see all of these other guys have, like medical kits and big operator stuff, and I don't have any of that on this because I need to go as light as I can, and I want to be able to take stuff out if I don't need it. But the purpose of this is so I can have a pistol, so I can possibly rappel if I had to. I've got a knife with me all the time, and I've got 1 extra reload on each. That's really all you need. The lighter, the better. All right, those of you who've been following me a lot, you know I got a lot of different pew-pews to choose from. Right now I'm choosing the Mark 18 for what I would see as all possibilities related to this incident that we see going down right now, right? And here's the reasoning, okay? So I've got my Mark 18 is a Knights Armament SR15 lower. I changed the stock, the pistol grip to a Bravo Company pistol grip because I like to be able to get a high pistol grip on the rifle, and I like that this safety works to where it doesn't get into my finger. So I really like this SR15. I changed the stock to the Magpul stock, and the reason why is because it holds 3 batteries. And so I've got 3 1-2-3 batteries in there. I do the best I can to keep this gun warm so the batteries don't get zapped. And then in between each one, I've got them wrapped airtight in plastic so that I put them in there, and so they're not rattling around, they don't get wet. The airtight on the batteries will help them a little bit, insulate them a little bit, so I've got them all wrapped in plastic. Inside my handle, I have oil, I have a Carter pin, I have a bolt firing pin, and basically all maintenance things to be able to fix the rifle in the field. The things that would normally break down, I've got them in here to fix them in the field. This is a Daniel Defense Mark 18 upper. It's a 10.3. It has a Colt bolt inside of it. I've got a Bravo Company front grip faced forward on it so that whenever I get it up, I've got some ability to pull it back against my shoulder. I've got the Surefire RC2 can. Why do I have this? Is it the quietest can? No, it's not the quietest can. CGS is the quietest can. On this rifle, I have this one set up this way. I like it because there's no flash and there's no thermal signature as it gets hot, okay? So that's why I chose this. I chose what is proven for the last 15 years to be a true combat workhorse. All right, I've got a PEC 15 laser. If you have any kind of night vision at all, you need a laser. One of the things you need to worry about is the possible threats that we face today are going to be able to see your laser as well. So you may not want to turn on your laser. Hence the reason I have the Unity mount on my Aimpoint T2. My Aimpoint T2 allows me to have 5 years of battery life. I recently replaced the battery. That's also, I've got 2 extra batteries in here that work with my RMR and they work with this T2. What it does is it allows me to passively shoot. So I can have on my night vision, lift the gun up, and I can still see through to passively shoot if there is enough ambient light that I can shoot and I don't have to use my laser. Once again, the possible threat that you might face is gonna have night vision too. This is like, instead of Tom Brady and the Patriots playing, your local high school team, like, was with Afghanistan and Iraq, it's going to be Tom Brady and the Patriots versus Tom Brady and the Bucks, right? So everything that you think you're one up on, they're one up on you too. All right, so I got the mod light. Remember the mod light, I have it set up where I can use in an absolute emergency, I can use my thumb. So I'm not bumping this with any switches. It's just there for an absolute emergency. All right, I have the Faro Concepts sling. Any sling works, it doesn't matter. I forgot. I have the Aimpoint. This is the pro version of the flip up. I don't always leave this on this gun, but for the case of everything that's happening now, I choose it because I might need to be able to see. I might need to be able to see things and find out where I'm at or take a little bit further shots. But this is the best of both worlds for me in that. All right, I have a double PMAG magazine locked up for this because in the event, as things, start to happen, I may only just be able to pick up my gun and I want to have that double magazine ready to fight. If I was walking or something, patrolling or bugged out, I may not use the double, I may just use a single, but I always have the double kind of set up for home defense or truck gun, get it out, have it, so I'm fighting with what's in the gun and what's on the gun. All right, I keep radios with me. Everybody has these Baofeng, what is this one? UV5R8W. I've got an extra battery. I have a bunch of these guys because they're cheap. And I've got the longer antennas. I've got all different sizes of antennas. And I had a buddy of mine that's really into these radios program them across the board for me. And so I have a bunch of these for everybody in my group. And I will take a bunch of these to be able to hand out to people. I also have 550 paracord. I have this cut in different lengths. And then I have one that's a 50-foot piece. Usually you won't cut paracord, so I try to make 6-foot links, 20-foot links, and then 50-foot links. And I have paracord. It's nothing special. Make sure you have some paracord with you. You know what? Rather than do the redundancy on that, Dave Canterbury's 10Cs, right? Have Dave Canterbury's 10Cs. You always need those 10Cs of survival you can add to this. I pretty much cover most of that in all of this, but you can add them to them. All right, the piece of gear that is crazy to me that nobody ever talks to or about is binoculars. So these are Leica GeoVids. I keep 4 extra batteries in here with them. They're the range finding binoculars. Sometimes you need to know how far things are, maybe not just for shooting, but you just may need to know. But these are excellent 10-power binoculars because if I'm somewhere, whether I'm in the city or whether I'm in the mountains, I'm gonna wanna look and make sure that I take time to look before I make a movement. I need to look inside of windows. I need to look inside of doors, inside of cars, under cars. I need to look around in a 360 environment, up, on top of buildings. Is anybody moving? Are they behind the curtains? The only way to do that is to be able to see. And you can't count on your rifle to be able to see all the time. You can count on binoculars though. Some of the things I have inside my binocular case, in the bottom down here, I have another tourniquet and I have a buck 110 knife as well as a cigarette lighter. On the sides in here, I have an extra set of earplugs, 2 extra sets of earplugs, and I have lens cleaning wipes. And then on this side, I have the rain protectant gear for it. So this is the Alaska Guide Creations. It allows you to just have the whole thing here. You can put it on with the rest of your kit, but it allows you the ability to see and protect your binoculars. Guys, you have got to be able to see. You need binoculars. All right, I've got a little Gerber hand shovel. I keep this, it's kind of heavy, but I keep this hand shovel with me. I started keeping it with me because in 2020, I was riding with Sway, my buddy, and we drove his Can-Am brand new, like had it a day, into this gigantic ravine that we didn't see. We dug out for 9.5 hours with knives. And so after that, I said, I'll never not have a shovel again, and I needed it to be small enough. So I've got a Gerber hand shovel because you never know what you're gonna have to dig, or dig for a fire, cover up a fire, build a Dakota fire, have you a small, lightweight shovel. All right, back to the having buddies. I have, if you can see in here, they're not light, okay? But this is a GI tool bag that's made to hold a lot of weight. It doesn't matter which tool bag you get, just get a bag. I have 30 loaded magazines with 28 rounds apiece. I know some of you like 30, put 30, I don't care. I have 28 loaded magazines. It's not light, okay? 30 loaded magazines with 28 rounds. I keep them in there and I keep them in this bag. So as I'm grabbing stuff, I grab this bag and I leave. I'll show you I'll do another video if you guys like this video where I show you how to pack this stuff in a bag and how I do it and what it weighs. Because again, it's not light, but you gotta have it to survive. Uncle Sam never sent anybody out with a light pack. I have this so that if I run into other people, more than likely they don't have their freaking magazines loaded. And I can say, hey, while you're loading your magazine, take these 3 so that you can protect me. And give me your magazine so I can start loading them with you. Because in any of this event, it's all community property at that time. It doesn't matter if I had 30. If I've got 10 guys, I'm gonna hand them 3 mags apiece. That's just how we do this. Okay, you need to be able to protect your feet, your hands, your eyes, and your ears, okay? You've seen my boots that are protecting my feet. Inside of my boots, I always keep a little bit of moleskin in case I get a blister. I have Gator clear glasses. They're transitions, so they go, clear if you were in a house. Walk outside, it gives you just a little bit to knock the sun kind of edge off. And they're ballistic rated glasses, and they cover your eyes on the side really well, so you can't get anything inside your eyes, to include wind. I ride a motorcycle with these, dudes skydive with these, so I highly recommend safety glasses. Gators are the best, bar none. All right, so I also, I told you about protecting your feet, your eyes, your head, your ears. So I have a OpsCore, the newest version ballistic helmet. It has the Wilcox mount on it, PVS 31s. I have the PVS 31 holes near far focus. I have I believe this is Faro Concepts PVS 31 battery holder because the battery doesn't stay on this very well. And I've got a strobe. Remember, those of you who have night vision, when you turn on the IR flood here, the IR flasher, or your flasher, the chances of somebody else seeing you are, oh, they're gonna see you, right? From forever. You just like lit up the biggest Christmas tree in the dark ever. So before I ever use any of those floods or a flood on my laser, I'm gonna be very extremely aware of my surrounding. But you may need this so that you know who your good guys are. And then I have the OpsCore amp ear protection, and they pair in well with a radio. I have them set up to where they set up with my main radio or these Baofeng radios so that I can talk to my guys. This gives me ballistic and just regular hit protection. Guys, even if it's just a bump helmet, you really need a helmet because you never know if you're walking around in the dark and you just trip and fall, or somebody comes up behind you and hits you, or you're in the mountains and a rock falls on your head. You need a helmet, all right? So that's kind of how I have this helmet set up, and it's specifically made for this kit. So I also have my plate carrier. This is a Cry JPC plate carrier. I keep 3 fully loaded magazines in it. I don't run a lot of stuff on my plate carrier because I need to be light. I'm a bigger guy and I'm not that fast. So I need to be as light as I can, as fast as I can, but protected. So I do have level 4 hard plates in here, standalone, but it's a Cry JPC. I run 3 mags. I run 1 on my belt, 2 on my gun, and the rest in my pack or in my little handy bag. And then the medical kit that I'm choosing to run right now on this one is the Black Scout Survival Medical Kit. I like that it kind of has everything. It has an extra tourniquet on here in conjunction with the 3 that I already have. It's on me and it's set to the back of me to where somebody can use this on me, right? My medical kit, my IFAK is so that somebody can use it on me. I'm not using this on somebody else, but it does have the scissors and it has the full regular kit with the needle and everything. It is a pretty good kit. You can get it at Black Scout Survival. I'm not affiliated with them. It's a great one to grab. Go grab you one. All right, guys, again, let me just add one more tip. Load your magazines. Load your magazines. I recommend 30 of them, loaded to 28 rounds. Load your magazines. And see what happens is, when I have this loaded right here, I can take this from car to car with me and then open it up, spread it open, and reach in, grab a magazine, hand it to a buddy, reach in, grab a magazine, hand it to a buddy. Have your magazines loaded. If you have more than 30, cool, load them all. If you're having a hard time getting them or bullets, man, hurry, because you need them. All right, guys, again, listen, please check out our Patreon. If you want to know what we know and kind of an inside scoop on what we can give you on what's going on in the world today, check out our Patreon. We're going to give you tips. We're going to give you news information. We're going to give you briefs. Again, because I just think that this big social media group right here is going to cut us off. And so I want to be able to have that. We've worked ways around staying out of this channel and being able to give updates there. So check us out to be prepared for what the future may hold. All right, guys, like, subscribe, hit the bell notifications. I appreciate you. Again, I think it's like 76% of people now are watching the videos, but they're not subscribing. The only way I can get this message out there to YouTube is to go ahead and subscribe. That helps us. Hit the bell notifications, share it to your friends. We appreciate you, Outlaw Nation. Again, sorry for this kind of impromptu video. It's not our normal style. I just wanted to get this out there to you because so many of you were asking me. So I just wanted to show you kind of what we had and how we prepared for it and kind of how the people in my group are set up for the possibility of having to live out of a backpack for a while.